The company I work for has recently expanded very quickly, and now both our vendors and customers reach across the globe.
That's amazing. Our global economy has opened new marketplaces for all kinds of businesses, and technology now allows us to work with people around the world every day.
It really is great, except I just got a promotion.
Congratulations! Aren't you excited?
Well, in my old position, I occasionally interacted with people from other locations and cultures, but rarely met them in person or even virtually. Now, we're partnering with individuals from around the world, and I'm leading the international project team. I'm so nervous. What if I mess up?
No need to panic. In this course, we'll learn solid, tangible strategies to avoid cultural faux pas, so you don't have to worry about misrepresenting your company or offending the people you work with. For starters, culture is defined as a social behavior, institution, and norms found in human societies, as well as the knowledge, beliefs, arts, laws, customs, capabilities, and habits of the individuals in these groups. It is usually attributed to a specific region or location. Anthropologists Kevin Avruch and Peter Black explain the importance of culture this way. It provides the lens through which we view the world, the logic by which we order it, and the grammar by which it makes sense.
That's a great way to explain it. All of these characteristics have a huge impact on the way we move through the world and relate to each other. There are so many differences in how people from various cultures interact.
Definitely. Some cultures are loud and outgoing and love to laugh. Others tend to be quieter and more serious.
So, the first step everyone should take before meeting someone from a different culture is to do some research so that these differences are less jarring. What kinds of things should we be looking for?
The cultural differences that tend to impact global work include communication styles, attitudes toward conflict, approaches to completing tasks, decision-making styles, and attitudes towards disclosure.
That's a lot of potential differences. Seems overwhelming.
It can be, and we'll be looking at many of these in more detail in other lessons. But first, you need to realize the most important approach.
Let me guess. We always need to be open-minded.
We do, and there are a few specific ways to achieve that. First, suspend judgment and learn to respect how others live their lives. Be curious about other people instead of immediately criticizing their choices. Second, listen actively and empathetically. And third, remember that cultural norms may not apply to the behavior of each individual.
That makes sense. It's not possible for general norms to apply to everyone in any culture.
Right. We're all shaped by many different factors: our ethnic background, our family, our education, our personalities, and we're more complicated than any cultural norm could suggest.
So, there's no way to make sure I'm saying or doing the right thing?
Technically, no. But you can prepare as much as possible. Then you have to relate to each person individually in order to build connections and smooth over inevitable misunderstandings.
I know there have been times when I've immediately reacted to what I felt was rude or offensive behavior. I remember one time when my female colleague was completely ignored by visitors from overseas, and they would only deal with her male subordinates. My inclination was to jump to her defense, but we were able to politely redirect without causing an issue.
That's a good way to handle it. And remember, other people have expectations and cultural stereotypes of how we will act as well. Similar to the way culture relates to a whole group, and culturation is a term used to describe how our life experiences shape the way actions and words feel to us, individually.
Just like how I used to live in a town where the culture centered around the local sports team, but my older brother was injured playing sports, so I always had mixed emotions about going to games and participating in all the related activities.
That's an example of how your life experiences impacted your feelings in that culture. Even though that town's culture embraced sports, you felt very differently about it. Generalizations can cause stereotypes when you assume that what's true for some members of a group is true for all of them, especially if you base these ideas on what you've heard from others, instead of what you've personally experienced and observed. For example, there's a stereotype that people from South America are often late. And while those cultures do tend to prioritize people over time, it certainly is not true of everyone. My friend from Peru is early for everything.
After making sure I'm being open-minded, are there any next steps that I can take to build real human connections with our clients and coworkers?
I'm glad you asked. Focusing on cultural differences can make you feel very disconnected. One way to alleviate this feeling is to focus on similarities instead.
Great idea. Maybe considering the roles family members play in their lives and how similar that is to my own family dynamic would make the environment feel more interpersonal. It will probably also be easy to find work interests we have in common, or even similar passions we pursue. By finding similarities, I'll help my clients and coworkers feel free to be themselves and to express aspects of their own unique culture. So the main tools I need to have in this new position are the ability to research, be open-minded, consider people's individuality, and focus on similarities instead of differences.
Exactly. We all have different things that shape the way we interact in the world. But at the end of the day, we're human with the same basic wants and needs.